What's up guys and welcome back. So today I want to show you something, and by showing you something I'm talking about my diet and training. The reason this is because loads of you keep asking, can you show me what you're doing training wise, can you show me what you're doing eating, and I feel like just showing you a meal here or there isn't really enough. You kind of want to get an idea of why do you have foods at this certain times, what does your actually week food look like, are you always amazing with all the foods you eat, do you have something a little bit naughty here and there. So before we jump into that, let's just cover a few ground rules. There's a few things that I follow very closely and some that I loosely follow to allow me to stay in shape, eat foods that I want, and be happy really. The first one and my first rule is my calories. I will maintain my calorie goals. At the moment I'm dieting because I go to LA in 2.5 weeks. I've left it a little bit late to be honest, so my calories on 2,500 calories a day, okay? So 2,500 calories a day is my goal. I will hit that every day. End of. I will actually track my foods when I'm dieting using an app like MyFitnessPal to allow me to know exactly what calories I'm on. Number two is I'm going to maintain some certain macronutrient goals. This is very important for me, especially when dieting, because I don't want to be using protein as energy. So the main macronutrient that I want to make sure I'm hitting every day is my protein. So if I was looking to build muscle, I'd probably go for 2 grams per kilo of protein. So I'm 80 kilos, so it'll be 160 grams of protein. As I'm dieting, that's going to be slightly higher. It's going to be about 180 grams, just because I really want that extra bit of protein in there to stop me potentially breaking down my muscles while I'm in a calorie deficit. Carbs and fat, a lot of people worry about these a lot. My calories are the most important thing, along with my protein. My carbs and my fat are gonna work kind of around each other and around my workouts. So for example, if I'm training in the morning, I might have oats in the morning. I might do my workout, and let's just be generic, and I'll have chicken and rice afterwards. So I had oats before, rice afterwards, I got some carbs in. The rest of my day, I'm gonna have fat and protein, so it's gonna be less carbs in that day, okay? That allows me to keep my carbohydrates down and my calories down. When I'm not in diet mode, I will have carbs for every meal because my body allows me to do that very well. You can diet still with high carbs if you reduce your fat, but it doesn't work very well for me because I find the foods that I like are quite high in fat and I end up going over my fat goals every time. Number 3, single ingredient foods. I will try to prepare as many of my meals as I humanly can because I know exactly what's going into them. When I'm dieting, I do weigh my food so I know where I'm at. I can track my food very easily, and it gives me a lot more control, and it really teaches you about what's in your food. And hydration. I will drink probably 3 to 4 litres of water a day. I cannot stress enough how important hydration is. Water is pretty much involved with every single process in your body. Number 4 is my training. My resistance training is not actually going to change. It's going to be exactly the same as before. I'm going to still try to get stronger, beating my reps each week in the gym. If I was dieting for a prolonged period of time, when I hit a sticking point, I might decide to add a little bit of cardio in there, but at the moment I do little to no cardio whatsoever. And when I'm dieting, I don't particularly want to be adding cardio in if I don't have to. Sleep is massively overlooked. I'm going to be aiming to get 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours unbroken sleep a night. So that means not waking up to go to the loo, not waking up at all, just sleeping all the way through. This is so important for recovery, repair, mood. It just makes dieting so much easier, I swear. And the last one, and probably the most important along with calories, is prepping and consistency. If you want to get from A to B, you have to be consistent with it. You have to keep hitting your calories, you have to keep hitting your targets. Preparation, when we get hungry is when we fall short. We're hungry, we've got no food, we run to the house, we start opening the cupboards, and before we know it, we're 5 bags deep of crisps and a couple of Mars bars before we've even made our healthy meal. So if you have stuff prepped, it makes life so easy. So you will often find that what I have for dinner one night, I will prep extra amounts for maybe a lunch or a meal the next day, so I've always got 1 or 2 meals in the bag. With that being said, let's have a look at my training and nutrition this week. What's up guys, so I'm doing a little voiceover for you, and I thought I would put up my training. So I didn't actually do this training this week. I've just got over patellar tendonitis, so I was doing a lot of squats and deadlifts this week to try and get my motor patterns back up. But typically I do this training and I work on a slightly lower rep range just because I want to work on my strength, and I really want to hit the 200 kilo mark on a deadlift this year, so big aspirations to do. So every Sunday I start off with a ton of prep because it just sets you up for the week. I make a big chili, sometimes I use squash, sometimes I use meat, I do some salmon and some chicken. Chili is super easy to make. Just chop up an onion, chop up a chili, chop up some garlic, stick some olive oil in a pan and heat that up. I used venison mince this week, and then I put a tablespoon of paprika, cumin and chili powder in, 2 cans of tomatoes and 2 cans of beans. Normally I use kidney, but I ran out. To be honest, I should have shopped better. So I also do some salmon. I just put some salt and pepper on that. Sometimes it's nice with pesto or lemon squeezed over it. I had 2 more in the fridge I'll add later in the week. These I just saw on the internet and I made them, and they were actually really awesome. I wasn't expecting it. Avocado, baked egg and bacon. You can find them on our Facebook page. Also made up some guacamole. These are the supplements I take. Awesome supplements. It does what it says in the tin. It's awesome. Performance blend is beta-alanine and creatine, and the daily dose is a multivitamin which I take twice a day. It's just epic stuff. Most mornings, especially if I'm training, I start off with oats, whey and almond milk just because I love chocolatey oats. It's quick, it's easy, and that's what dieting is all about half the time. I had some chicken soup. I then did some training, a little bit of a bend in that deadlift I need to fix. I had 2 scoops of whey afterwards. It was about 30 grams of protein. It was a busy day for me. I was off to London, so I had an apple on the way to London. Joe's cheering me on there. And then I had some spinach, some rice, that's what that is, and some chicken. So post-workout, I got some carbs in again. I then had a chili when I got home, and I had an omelette with a ton of veg, which is a little bit burnt. The next morning, I started off with some poached eggs on some sourdough bread. I didn't have the avocado because I had some later, where as you can see, that's quite a high fat meal there, salmon and guacamole. Loads of green veg as well, it's really important. A lot of my meals would look like that if I'm not training around that area. I actually was training shortly after this, but I did have carbs in the morning as well, and I've got to bear in mind that I've got targets to hit. Squats and deadlifts, again, just working on technique, and then I had a whey protein afterwards, and I squeezed in a cheeky Nando's. Again, that takes up a lot of calories, but I hadn't eaten a massive amount of food that day, so it was doable for me. I then had an organic chili from an organic place that was around the corner. That is amazing, so plenty of carbs after my workout. And then I had some veg. Obviously that isn't cooked, but I had a big veg at night, and sometimes I finish my day with Greek yogurt. That leads me round to the weekend, where I cooked up a lot of meat with the family on the barbecue. So that's what I do in a week, nice and easy. If you enjoyed this video, guys, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I hope that clears it up for you a little bit more how we eat. So yeah, guys.